Hi, I'm Debbie, and welcome to my channel, Divine Destiny with Debbie. Today we're reading for September 28th, 29th, 30th, and October 1st for my Tauruses. Hello, my Tauruses. Now, this is Monday through Thursday reading. I'm using two Radley Valentine decks, Archangel Power Tarot cards for the main message, and then pulling one from my Angel Tarot cards. I've prayed, meditated, and infused both decks with Reiki energy. But remember, this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate. Take what you like, leave the rest. Okay? Okay. I'm an intuitive channeler. I open myself up to higher power. Whatever the message is, I don't have to understand it. I usually don't. I just have to deliver it to someone that needed to hear it. Anyway, I've got three cards face down. The first and third are reversed. Strong energy. October 1st is the full moon. It is in Aries at 17:05, which would be 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you figure out the time differential. Now, it's going to be an interesting one because it's in Aries. So there's a lot of this Aries, fiery kind of a little bit, don't tell my Aries, a little bit pushy type of energy. And then there's a conjunction with Aries. So it's kind of like, not only it's like Aries and his brother kind of pushing, but the thing is with this, it's squared, and I talk about this in the Libra overview, but it's squared with Pluto, which is retrograde. It goes direct in the 4th of October, I believe. Pluto is in Capricorn, so it's, there's that square. Saturn, which goes direct on the 29th in Capricorn, and also on the 29th, Pluto and Saturn are really close together. And so it's kind of like, and they both have kind of more that, that darker energy, the energy that we don't always like to necessarily address, that Pluto has a little bit of controlling type of energy, and Saturn's gonna kind of like slap you. But anyway, they're both in Capricorn. Now, we also have Jupiter, which went direct, was that about 10 or so days ago? I can't remember, and Jupiter's good. Jupiter's good, but it's still in Capricorn. So you have all of these things. So I basically said the full moon energy, even though new moon to full moon, as it gets bigger, we request. Full moon to new moon, as it gets smaller, we get rid of. Full moon is the time we release what's holding us back, relinquish what we don't need, and it's still applicable, and we request. But this energy is going to be all about me. Not me, but me, okay? And those are the people that we will be in contact with. So don't be too alarmed if people are a little bit on that selfish side, if they're a little bit more demanding. That full moon, which also does affect our cycles, and because it affects the earth, it affects the water, it affects us. This is going to be a pushier full moon, which we can use that energy. Basically Saturn is kind of like learn the lesson. Okay, so we can use that energy to get us to help us to learn the lesson. Pluto's going to be kind of controlling. It's going to be like, but we can still use that energy to help get us to that next step. Okay, whatever that next step be. But for my Tauruses, Monday through Thursday, let's see what we have. First card again is reversed. Here we are. The Four of Raphael. Now, Raphael is emotional energy. It's water energy. It's fluid energy. It's also some spiritual energy too. And so when I see Raphael, this is really a great time to reach out to your archangels, higher power, guardian angels, spirit guide, voice of the universe, your divine, okay? Because this is fluid, this is emotional, this is just, but fours, if you think about it, fours have a stability. It's like the four legs of a table, but what happens when one of the legs is shorter than the other? So the table rocks a little bit. So it's not quite as stable, it's still functional, but it's not quite as stable. Okay, so this is kind of, the Four of Raphael is bringing me to kind of like that rocking table. Okay, so you might be putting the dishes, the food on it, but if somebody gave it a good slam, it's not quite as stable as you might think it should be. Okay, so there's again too, I talk about the emotional, and now too, my Tauruses, you do have that psychic link. You do know things that others don't necessarily know. However, with it, it's hard for you because you would rather see it to believe it. But this is kind of like, maybe you're being guided, maybe you're thinking, maybe I need to kind of deviate from my path a little bit. Because you do get very focused, but maybe I need to do things a little bit differently. I would suggest that you do things a little differently, especially with this full moon energy. Anyway, seek out other possibilities. Look for the magic in life. Be aware of your own emotions. Again, it's like your table, the one leg might be a little shorter. Anyway, here we go to the next card. The Three of Raphael. Now, this is again that same energy, that same emotional, spiritual energy. But this is about celebration. This is about, wow, whatever you did. So whatever, doing things something a little bit different, it's going to work out. It's actually going to be something that you're kind of like, now that's a surprise. That's a surprise. I didn't expect that. So it's kind of really reinforcing the do something a little bit different. Maybe you're going to take some paper or an old book and shove it under the leg or something. But it's like it's going to be, well, remember the definition of insanity, whatever they say, is that it's basically doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. So this is definitely that time where you do something different, and and it looks like you get the outcome you want. So this is again, so don't, so you're going to need to, I always use need. I really advise you to watch your emotional responses, okay? And, and again, this full moon may be pushing you, and maybe you're somebody that, you have other aspects in your chart, and you just kind of go with, you kind of let it push you. I'm going to say, do something a little bit differently. Don't respond the way you normally respond. Maybe that means taking some breaths, calming, counting to 150, whatever the number is, and then proceeding. Okay? Okay. Reasons to celebrate: a community of friends, happy announcements regarding relationship or children. And I do like that. I mean, look at those mermaids. They're happy. They look happy. Anyway, let's go on. Last card. This one is reversed. And here we have the Knight of Raphael. So there's a lot of emotional energy with this. There's a lot of that spiritual there. So, be aware. And again, the moon cycle does affect water. So it does feel like you will be really affected by this moon cycle. But if you do something a little bit differently, it works out better for you. Now the Knights again, Knights have kind of a dual energy to it too. Knights have, besides the energy of water, they also have kind of that fire energy too. So they really want to push forward. They're directional. Sometimes you need to guide them a little bit too. So it could be that it's you that needs the guiding, or that, like by doing something a little bit differently, you're pushing that other. But this seems like it's going to be a very emotionally involved week for you. And actually though, you being, not, so, maybe instead of being as direct as you normally are, maybe if you're kind of, oh, tell me about this, the result comes that you want. Maybe you being, kind of, again, it's, I know my Taurus it's kind of like, I don't want to play games. I'm going to just give it, I'm just going to say it how it is. And you might need to do you might not need to do that, because if you tell it like it is, people may, again, the response won't be what you want. But between the, the 4 and the 3, you do something a little bit different, especially with that romance. Maybe it is romance. With that, emotional relationship, and, it could be your work, job, career. It does feel like it's more of the personal, intimate, or interpersonal, or it could be family and home type of energy, okay? But this is, kind of go for it too. So, it could even be that, you do something a little bit differently. Maybe, if there's somebody that you're interested in, well, you ask them out, because the Knight is kind of like, be direct, but yet don't be real forward, but go after what you want, but, okay, that's the kind of energy I'm getting. But don't be pushy, but don't give up. But, so it's kind of that type of energy. And I think that my Tauruses, you kind of understand what I'm saying, right? Anyway, the Knight of Raphael is romantic, dramatic, poetic, introspective. Committed romantic situations, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. So yeah, very emotional, but yet, like I said, you do something, you don't, not responding, again, doing what you always did gets you what you always got, right? So this time you do something a little different, and it looks like it just opens things for you. Be aware, be very, very aware of this full moon. I'm not trying to scare people with it. It's just, if you're aware, I feel knowledge is power, and if you know that this is what's happening with people around you. So it could also be that maybe somebody snaps at you, and where you'd like to just growl right back at them, you basically take a step back. It might be that, okay? Anyway, last card, reversed, here we are, the Knight of Earth. Now, so while all of this was water, emotional, spiritual, connecting higher power, kind of in that metaphysical, here we come with the physical. So it's like all of, and again too, if this is metaphysical, connecting with your archangels, higher power, that all works. But then this is how you bring it back down to earth. This is how you bring it back into the realm that you like, okay? You can walk both of those places. But again, you want to touch it, you want to feel it, you want to see it, okay? And so this is what you understand more so. Earth energy, solid. Again, someone you can touch, money. A lot of times this has to do with a job. It could be with, I've been getting a lot of hearth and home. So it could be something with your home. It could be providing some security with your home. Now, knights do have, again, that kind of fire energy, okay? So this is saying for you not to give up on your path. It's just as you're going down your path, maybe instead of walking slowly, you walk faster. Maybe instead of walking faster, you walk slower. Maybe you skip, okay? You do something a little different. Okay, Knight of Earth, loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. So even though there's all this emotional stuff going around and you have to kind of navigate the waters a little bit, and it does look like, again, I love that 3 of Raphael and the Knight of Raphael, it does look like it works for you. You still have to get things done. You still have to live in the present, right? And it does look like you do. Again, one foot in the super, the other in the natural. So, interesting times. This is going to be an interesting week. So, my Tauruses, remember the button. Please like, please share, please subscribe, click the bell. As always, my Tauruses, know that you are loved, stay safe, and be blessed. Bye-bye.